Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hi and hello to all my lovelies, my beauties, my royalties. Who take that really big gulp of scorching, boiling hot patty tea, babies? Ooh. But yeah, this is gonna be more of a episode, nerd channel and everything, but it's Father's Day, and I just recorded a lot of episodes, and I'm dealing with a broken heart. So, a very torn and used broken heart. So, ah, I'm going to be talking about shows that inspire me to write, or especially the genre, because, yeah, when I was younger, I didn't think I love mystery and I love Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, but when I started writing, it didn't feel right. I don't know. It's like something was just, I needed more pop, I needed more zing, I needed more substance. And okay, people are gonna say, like, okay, I, I didn't want to just a basic Betty as my, or basic Nancy. I wanted somebody who, especially now being diagnosed, I want somebody that's going through it and who doesn't always get the guy or doesn't really get hit on that much. And with their job, sometimes they're just like, this no good client can go to. Like, yeah, I want them to just go through it. Like my life. Like, if you know, you know. I want the family where they're bumping heads so much and you're just like, oh dang, they family. Because if they weren't, they wouldn't be in that same house. They wouldn't be like in existence. They wouldn't be called. No. Mm-mm. But I wonder how Thanksgiving is. I wish I want a front row seat and watch that mess. Yeah, yeah. But at the same, I don't. I love mysteries, but I love puzzles. I love patterns. I love just because with a murder mystery, with a villain, with someone corrupt, with the suspect, with the victim, there's always something more. There's always something deeper. Because even with bones, like sometimes like when they first find out who they are and like sometimes they're just like, "Oh, I'm not sure." And the main character's able to just look at the muscles and look at the features and be like, oh, those are like, that's a female. Look at that curvature, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this person, if you look in this range in this part of the skull, you can see that they are like more European, white person, blah, 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 and stuff. And yeah, it's like, and oh, look at these scratch marks. And you can tell that they probably went fishing and they did this a lot. And this was probably their job because this part of their body is used more. And I don't know. It's just to me, absolutely. I love that show. I needed that show. And sometimes I wonder, did that inspire me to minor in anthropology? Because I wish I majored in it, but I minored in it because, my parents, if you know, you know, because they were trying to make me major in something else that I could not. Nope. But anyway, yeah, and especially I loved watching Bones because you could watch different people who specialize in different parts of the anthropology come together to put the pieces together in order to solve different crimes, and also the diversity. And some people are like, oh, DEI, whatever. Because of diversity, there were some cases where some people knew, like once the main character would mention this hobby, they were like, oh, I know someone who blah, 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 or oh, let me look into that. Let me research this. And there was one of the side characters, but she was the artist. The way that she would be able to put the pieces together to what this person probably looked like. So even bringing art into the anthropology world and showing the benefits of an artist and how beautiful and amazing it is. I loved that. And I loved her love story too. And I loved how sometimes they showed the friction between them, but I love how she met her man and how they came together and stuff. I like the characters with that. Yeah. That was like chef's kiss. Oh yeah, and don't forget to check out my Patreon because yeah, I'm gonna be I don't have that much research stuff on it yet, but I will. I'm gonna be having a lot of nerd stuff, but if you wanna see how sometimes when I'm trying to think of what would someone on the dating app say, sometimes I go through my Patreon and read through them to help like get me into that vibe of like the hateful, awful vengeance or jealous or vindictive or person who only wants a quickie or what I like. Yeah, it's like some people might ask, why do you have so many of the ones where men are just asking you to do a sexual favor or whatever? It's because it happens almost every single day. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Some men don't even say hello. They just say how many inches they are, and they expect me to jump up and down. Yeah, that's the reality. So sometimes when I know I'm gonna need to write like if one of my characters are either gonna be getting hit on or they're gonna hit on somebody or if they're going on a date and I need to be in a certain type of mood or feel. Sometimes that's what I and that's why like if you're a writer and stuff like yeah my lower tier where you can like look at all the screenshots, $2 a month. I'm gonna have some things for the $4 and I'm gonna have a couple higher tiers, but yeah, $2, come on now. So anyways, I have evidence for days for dating nightmares, river of racism, and like a lot of stuff. So anyways, back to yeah, let's I don't know. It's like with some of the shows though, it's like especially some of the episodes of Bones. I know they kind of went a little stereotypical, and or they touched in boundaries where it's like, but you know, Disney did the same thing or whatever. So it's like over time you realize what mistakes you've made, and I know even with my writing, there were times where like there's characters that I'm gonna have to fix up, and because I wrote one of my LGBTQ plus characters as one of my close friends who is LGBTQ plus, but like one of my students who is also LGBTQ, they read it and they said that to them it sounded stereotypical, but I'm like, oh, I wrote it based off. So now I'm just like, okay, let me just. I was inspired by my friend, but like maybe so I'm trying to adjust and change, and I it's like even looking up different YouTubers who are LGBT, like LGBTQ plus and everything like that. Because I'm like, okay, I want more someone who is. I want to make sure I'm not stereotypical. Let me listen to some of them. Let me. I just want to make sure it's like because I want them to have that flair. But yeah. So anyway, so that's something I'm working on, and because I don't, that's the last thing I want to be. And but literally like while I wrote that character, it's like I'm picturing how my friend talks to me, and so but that's a mistake and I'm correcting it. But oh, I love Bull. Yeah, because especially having a juror and picking a jury based off like does this juror match this case to the point of someone being innocent? Yes, no, maybe so. And especially looking at a lot of the cases that are going on right now and the racism that goes on within our judicial system, but then people get mad at Black Lives Matter. But then look at the proof is in the pudding, especially when it comes like when they say life, it's like life isn't just when you come out like I don't know, like some people they seem so close minded, like because like yes, with the police, yeah, we want to stay alive, but then it's like if we get locked up, we want it to be fair, we want to be decent, and part of life also getting education, also getting work, also getting opportunities. But then people want to say, oh no, there's only reverse racism when it's just like, how in the world are you going to say like, so yeah, with Bull looking at each person and learning what to say, which also which of the lawyers should go up and question, and just like how those questions can change in the perspectives of how their minds are thinking throughout the case and what order to do certain things in order to change their mind or to flip is just amazing. So I really enjoyed that show, and because there were times where with what the main character was saying, I would go online and do research and look up, like, okay, is this really true, and how would you, and like when you're picking the jury and stuff, like, so yeah. Anyways, I loved that show. Or it's like I still watch this home, yeah. But Don't Lie to Me. Don't Lie to Me is really making me think about the breakup, because he literally just looked at the steering wheel. He wouldn't even look me in the eye. I like, trust me, with AI, I am going to be typing up every little detail I can, because he won't give me the answers, or he refused to give me it that day and the next day or whatever. He's not blocked. If yeah, go to the other channel to find everything else out or whatever. But he acts like he can't just text me. Now he wants me to unblock him. Now he like, yeah. So yeah, that, check out the Broken Heart series. So, oh, it's not going to be up yet, but it's going to be up pretty soon, because that's a new series. So that's going to be about that's going to go through the phases of a healing heart. So, and the pain and everything, you know. So, but with Bull, I love how each character has their own story, because there's so many times where you're reading a novel and a book and stuff, but everyone, all of their stories are only based off the main character. They don't get their love story or their like, and yeah, with a lot of the slightly anthropological shows, a lot of them are getting their own stories, or maybe that's developed over the years, because like back in the day, you didn't get like, especially even with the Jeffersons, it's like almost everyone's storyline always had to deal with the main characters. And if they kind of had their own side story, you didn't really know the ending of their side story. Once they left that apartment, it was like, okay, yeah, whatever, you'll figure it out, whatever. And it's like, but yeah, I mean, there's other shows, but I don't know. It's like there's a there's still shows even now where it kind of feels like their existence is only there while the main character is present, and it's like, I want to make sure I don't do that. That's one thing, and that's one thing I really liked about Bones, because even when one of the side characters passed away, and the trauma that his wife went through, girlfriend or wife. Did they officially get married? I forgot. It was so many years ago. But and then she was, I think she was pregnant. Yeah, she was pregnant with this kid too. So going through that trauma and all the coworkers helping and supporting her with that trauma was huge. And then even with the main character and her parents and her sibling and just the family, like, ooh, that in a way that inspired me, because there's so many episodes, there's so many shows where they want the Brady Bunch type of thing, and it's like, how many who's gonna, how many families are gonna have the Cosby Show and Brady Bunch type? And look at what happened to Bill Cosby. Heck no. Okay, it's not realistic. Not realistic. Okay, okay. So, because a lot of these families who be posting like they are the Brady Bunch and Cosby Show on Facebook, mm, I question them the most. I question them the most. Because, yeah, especially a lot of the people, the church people or the pastors, because, yeah, there was another pastor who just got caught cheating on his wife with some woman and everything like that. But then they want to cover that up. Like, do you know how many? Okay, yes, I'm going to the politics. I don't even care, because you guys should have already, like, when I say books have politics, I'm in politics. So, anyway, anyway. Do you know how many of these MAGA or Christian Republican, like, men have been caught lately cheating on their wives? But then they're like, you got only the traditional, and all this other mess. Women, you better be careful. I talk about this on my other channel, but you bet, like, now, like, they're literally having a women's conference for MAGA Republican women, and these women are walking out saying that they're okay with losing their right to vote. If you don't want to vote, don't vote, but how dare you try to take away my right to vote? And especially as a black woman, like this is why a lot of us, a lot of black women, we can't trust some of these white women. It's like sometimes, oh, white women, they act like, oh, I'm victimized, they don't trust me, they don't. It's like if you don't know about black struggle, the black struggle and the racism and the like the fight for desegregation. It's like both my parents went through segregation, and then my mom having to wait to get her first credit card, bank account, all this other stuff. It's just, to me, it's just mind-boggling that now there's actual women who want to give away these rights. To me, it's disgusting. But then there are some MAGA women who on camera in interviews said they only vote so they can cancel a Democrat's woman's vote. They just want to cancel our vote. They just want to keep us quiet. But then they get mad that we don't trust them. But at the same, like, to me, I'm just like, if you want to be conservative, if you want to be traditional, if you like, do you, but allow me to do me. Allow me to live my life, because I don't want the life. It's like if I was forced to live the life like her, that would be hell for me. I would be living in hell. That would be unfair and unjust. But these women are acting like they don't care. So anyway, like, I should write a book or create, like, we need a show based off that. I mean, well, we technically, yeah, yeah. That show, I was like, I don't know, it's like I feel like I would be too traumatized. But that one show with the red hoods, or like the women are literally like, some are made to just have kids. Like, I can't. I want to. The thing is, I've wanted to watch that show so much, and when I saw Whoopi Goldberg dress up as that storyline, that hit hard. So one day I'll watch it, but I can't right now. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I should do another episode of books and shows that I want to watch, but because of my trauma and because of a lot of the things that I've been through, I can't yet. But I want to work on, and I want to, step up to those. But okay. Yeah, but the Don't Lie to Me show, I'm rewatching it right now, and it's so good. And yeah, it's just the way people lie, and the way, like, body language is universal. It's like you try to hide it, but and there are some people who are taught to hide. But then because of some people's trauma, because there's the female character who, she's extraordinary, but it's because of the trauma that she had to go through that she is able to depict and notice certain things. And to me it's beautiful, and but at the same time horrifying, because I'm just like, it wasn't until like the prison episode where you're getting like a hint of some of the things that she's been through. But now I feel like I connect to her a little bit more. But yeah, each episode you're finding out either the lies of a lie, or the people who don't know it's a lie, and the risk people are willing to make to lie, and or why people need or have to hide the truth. It's interesting and engaging. And even when you're like, you have this ability because of either education or natural, and you see someone like a coworker is being lied to and everything like that, but then you are not showing that that they're lying, like I'm still, I don't know. So I'm gonna I've learned a lot about the side character, because in one of the last episodes that I saw, I learned that she was a mother for less than 2 months, but I believe it's Delaware, that after after 60 days of adopting, they can't come back for the child. But then the mom came back after 58 days. So she went from being a mother to not a mother, and the sadness that she went through. And how she, whenever she sees a little girl on the street, she just wants to hug them. So the pain she has. So I understand this character a lot more. So, yeah, there's two or three characters where, because of different situations that they had to fight through and go through, I understand them more. I connect to them more. And there's one character who always tells the truth, but the character, he, the main character, or well, the side character, the one who knows if someone's lying naturally, she caught the second time he lied, but I'm like, he lied twice about that woman. Because at the very end, he said he didn't care, but earlier in the episode, when he was saying how, like, after she kept touching her ear and they were arguing about it, he said something, and I'm like, that's a lie. But maybe that's because she wasn't in the room, but I'm like, no, but maybe, yeah, and maybe it showed how much she's grown on, or like the love interest, how much she was grown on his heart, and how, because with this character, he never lies. Like at the office, it's like with the married character, the one who her husband's lying to her, but no one, like everyone's like, okay, we can't, nope. It's like, I know he's lying to her, but I can't say this or whatever. And I think she's finally realizing it, but she's hiding it and stuff like that. But episode one, the character who always tells the truth, he says that there's no one hot enough to think about at home, or something. It was something sexual. And I remember she looked at him shocked. And he was like, no one that's not married. And you can kind of see her face change, like, oh, it better be because I'm not, or it better be because I'm married or whatever. And so when the natural capabilities character came on, he asked her if he could sleep with her. Point blank serious. And she was shocked. She was like, hold up, what? And so oh, this is when I knew, I'm like, oh, you're my girl. I like you. Because she was like, oh, so you always tell the truth, huh? And he was like, yeah, I always do. She was like, okay. So, are you good in bed? Do you know? I was like, ooh, sip, take, because I was in the middle of dinner. I'm like, ooh, I need a sip of petty tea for that. Ooh. And he was just like, he said something like, I'm fair. I'm all right, whatever. And she walked up closer to him. She was like, well, fair is better than what most can say. Girl. Oh, I'm like, yep, I like her. Yep, I like her. Yep. Because, like, his facial reaction was golden, too. Because he was just like, oh, I, I didn't expect that answer. I didn't know. Oh, what? No, what? It's like you could just see his mind was just going back and forth, back and forth. So, but yeah, all of them have a little bit of anthropology in them, because even with the main character and how he studied like facial expressions and everything, he studied for 3 years with a tribe. And so yeah, that takes you back to the classic old school anthropology and everything like that. And so I love how in some ways they show the hints of traditional anthropology and like and things in some of the tribes, but and also culturally, because there was the wedding with the Asian family. Well, the bride was white and the groom was Asian, and even with the bowing, it's like one of, like, they would kind of throw different hints and things, and so I'm like, oh, I get to learn about different cultures, yay. So yeah, at the end of the day, it was really interesting. Like, I feel like all these shows together kind of show different aspects of the way I want to write and the details, and because how someone thinks and the way that you question them and the different aspects, and because even with Bull, there was there was a woman who was chewing gum in the courtroom, and it was the craziest reason why he said she should stay on that jury, because I think he was like, no, she disrespects the, like, she doesn't care about seniority and the hierarchy and things like that. We need to keep her because she would be perfect for this case for that. And to me, I'm just like, wow, taking that little detail right there and being able to take it to that point and being able to characterize her based off of that one action, something that would be so small, but then at the same time something you'd be so irritated about, but then you're not really digging into the why. And when I write my characters in books, like if you saw the notes that I have, it's, and I think that's one reason why when I watch, like, I love these shows so much, because my writing style, I'm not like, you're gonna have to read it. I don't know, but and it's like there's probably not gonna be that close to it, but I love the details. And I think at least when I write some of my details in there, that at least you might see the hints. Because yeah, mine's urban fantasy. I'm gonna be having superheroes. I'm gonna be having the dead. I'm gonna be like, there's so much diversity with different worlds and aliens and different things like that. And so, like, when it comes to the culture and the politics and the why and the after effects, and like again with the different scopes of anthropology, and like even the aliens, what are their muscles going to be like, and like how do you know which planet they're going to be from, and what temperature should their skin be based off of what the planet and things like that, or how far away are they from the sun, and is there another types of life force that could also create flowers in the universe? So then maybe I can say that this alien species from, like, because that's one example, and that's something that I'm kind of working on, but at the same time I might just forget about that idea, period, because I might not need it. I probably won't need it. I don't know, but see, that's kind of how my mind works. So, and I like, and some people are like, it's fiction, just write it like it's fiction. And you know what, yeah, some of it's going to be very fiction, especially with my aliens, and but then a lot of my aliens are going to have like more humanoid, and it's like some of them aren't, some of them are going to have animal aspects and things like that. It's like, because now I'm thinking about Project Hail Mary, so even like the link, like I figured out a way, but it's kind of crazy. It's before I watched that movie, but there is a machine that one of my characters creates that helps translate aliens and stuff. But yeah, at the end of the day, those are some of the shows that I love, that especially getting having a minor in anthropology and studying apply well while studying applied anthropology, like like so many people don't even realize there's anthropology within businesses and the culture within businesses and employees and the hierarchy, and also within corporations, like depicting like who would work better where, and like the laws and the government or the governmental policies within them. Yeah. But and then cultural anthropology, I love. And so with my aliens, I'm trying to make sure each one of them has their own culture. I don't want them to all sound like they like have American, like, no. Mm-mm. So sometimes I read up on other countries' cultures and their anthropology and their laws, and like even what they're allowed to say about even their leaders and things like that, because that matters. It matters. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman. I am of color, and I am handy capable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.